I hope you can see me okay. Hi everyone, it's Nat over here. Oh, there we go. I hope you're all having a good day. Wherever you are, this is Natasha here from the Network team, and today we've got a security project with us. Now, security has been a huge in-demand topic across the Network community, and I think monitoring has also been a growing kind of theme as well amongst all of these requests. So I'm really excited to be sharing with you a new security and monitoring project. Today we're going to build a security monitoring system. We're going to create alerts for when your sensitive information is getting accessed. Okay, and our security monitoring system is going to use 3 key services today. They're CloudTrail, CloudWatch, and SNS. Now, if you're completely new to all 3 of those services, just know that we don't expect any experience in any of them. We will be going through all of the steps in this project step by step together. We're also going to be explaining all of the concepts and the key tools that we're using along the way. So you're so welcome here. The difficulty, I would say, is just pretty spicy because we have a few different kinds of services we need to connect together. I feel like sometimes when you have lots of services to connect together, it might increase the complexity a little bit, but we got this. I think we do, all right? So we've got a cool little architecture diagram here, and let's do a little introduction to what monitoring and why we're doing this project and how it's important too. Okay, so welcome to this project on setting up a monitoring system. Now, have you ever wondered how you can keep tabs and keep track of who's accessing your sensitive data in your account? Imagine if you're running a company account as well and there's like tens and dozens of engineers. How do you keep track of whether people are like opening and looking at all of your keys and sensitive information? So whether it's API keys, database credentials, critical secrets, it's a security risk every time someone opens and looks at your confidential information. So that's why companies really do invest a lot into monitoring systems that help them track and alert on anything that's unusual or anything that involves private confidential information. So in this project, we are building our very own monitoring system using AWS. Now, I would say this project helps you build a lot of skills that are relevant for roles like security engineer, DevOps engineer, and systems or cloud administrator, where it's a pretty important skill to have to be able to protect your data and be able to track who's looking at it too. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate all of the hellos and the sweet messages. The last course was fantastic. That's great to hear, H. And I hope you enjoyed this one too on security. Very nice. Okay, so in this project, let's get ready to set up AWS CloudTrail to track secret access events. We're also going to be using CloudWatch, which is in the middle here, to actually process and analyze the events that CloudTrail detects. And then after that, we have SNS that's kind of responsible for sending out messages when there are alerts. Now I'm going to talk through this again, but this time with a bit of a story. Let's say you've got a secret and you've stored that secret inside Secrets Manager. Now, this is a service that's all about just keeping your secrets in your AWS account in kind of like a secure vault. Okay, so instead of like copying and pasting API keys and access key IDs like in a random text file, let's store them in Secrets Manager where it's a lot more secure. CloudTrail here are like the eyes of your AWS account because CloudTrail is all about collecting logs on things people do. It's like the who, what, when, where, how of all different kinds of activity inside your AWS account. So CloudTrail will be able to see it if someone goes to Secrets Manager and opens a secret to see what's inside. So if an engineer goes inside Secrets Manager and they're like, I want to see the value of this API key that we have or the secret that we have, they open it and CloudTrail will say, oh, I see someone's opening this secret. Okay, CloudTrail got eyes. CloudTrail can see. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say, CloudTrail, thanks so much for being the eyes and collecting all of this information. I want to be able to filter and make analysis out of that information. Now, CloudTrail doesn't have built-in analysis tools like this, which is why you need to go to CloudWatch to do it. So you're going to set up CloudWatch and say, hey, CloudTrail, all of the logs and all of the events that you see, pass it on to CloudWatch too. So CloudWatch is going to set up a thing called a log group, which is like a folder of events or all the logs that CloudTrail sends it. And then we're going to apply things like analysis, so filtering, to specifically zone in on events where secrets are getting accessed. And then we're going to set up an alarm, because let's say we want to be alerted whenever our secret gets open. I don't want to find out that my secret was opened when I analyze my logs 6 days later. Like, I want to know the moment that secret gets opened. So let's set up an alarm that goes off when your secret gets accessed. Okay, and CloudWatch is going to help us do that. So CloudWatch can create alerts. It can go off, like it can set off an alarm. But imagine if you're like, if this alarm was setting off inside a building, but you're like outside in the field, like you're like shopping, or you're just not inside the building. That's the thing with CloudWatch alarms. It kind of stays in your AWS account, and you don't really know that an alarm is going off until you actually routinely check your alarm. So that's where SNS comes in to solve that problem. SNS is going to be like this messaging service or this notification service that says, oh, alarm going off. Hey, let me send you an email. Let me get you something in your inbox so that you get alerted when your alarm is going off. And of course, the moment that alarm is going off, you will know that, oh, okay, I'm getting an alarm because my secret's getting accessed. And now instead of finding out about something that's happened 6 days later, you find out instantly. And that's where the value of alarm, SNS, and email comes in as well. Are you excited? Because I am. I've been really looking forward to sharing this with you all, and I think you guys are gonna love it. Now, I'm gonna give you almost like a little preview or a little spoiler on what you're gonna get by the end of this project. So by the end of this project, AWS is gonna have the ability to send you emails like this. It says, alarm, your secret's getting access in this specific region. And these kinds of emails are going to get sent automatically to you because of how you set up your monitoring system. Okay, so it's super practical. You really do get to see an email from AWS in your inbox by the end of this project as a signal that you're doing something right. Okay, so this is very cool. Thanks so much to everyone for sharing all the love for this project already. Thank you so much, Robot. It's good to see you here again. I hope you enjoyed that 7-Day DevOps Challenge. And yeah, thank you so much. We've also got Guyan saying, is there a way to merge this project with the VPC project as a VPC monitoring? Very much so. I think the last three parts, the last three steps of this project, you can definitely apply for VPC monitoring and flow logs as well. So great point there. All right, team. Now I'm just going to take a quick minute to shuffle and close the door. But if you have any questions, please add it to the chat now. And I'll just open this here so you can also see what we're about to do today. Hello. All right, I'm back. I hope you're ready too. Shall we jump into the project together? Exciting, isn't it? I know I'm excited. Okay, so let's get into this project, and we're gonna start by talking about a recap of what we're about to do, okay? Because I think sometimes you can get lost in the steps. It's so easy to get lost in the steps. I do not blame you for it if you're like, where am I, when you're in the middle of a step. So let's quickly have a recap or have a little game plan together, okay? We're working as a team together, and here's the game plan. We have a project that's broken down into 2 stages. Stage 1 is that we set up the secret and the logging, which is the tracking of events. And then stage 2 is when we set up the monitoring and the alert system, which is like the analysis of the events and being able to get emails if something goes wrong. So step 1, let's set up Secrets Manager together. Step 2, we're gonna set up CloudTrail together. Step 3, we test CloudTrail. And in step 4, CloudWatch is gonna come through. Step 5, we set up that alert system, so we need to set up an alarm plus the connection to SNS so you get emails. And in step 6, we test and troubleshoot our entire system. All right, so that's the game plan for today. Cool. In this project, we will demonstrate how to set up a monitoring system in AWS using CloudTrail. What other services? Can you remember? Can you remember what other services we're using in this project? What other services are we using today? All right, we're also using CloudWatch and SNS. We're doing this project to learn how security and monitoring services in AWS work, plus have a working system that actually sends us emails too, which is like mind-blowing. It's low-key mind-blowing, no? How do I find the mind-blown emoji? Okay, very nice. Oh, look at you guys go. Hold up. Oh, you guys are amazing. You guys got it in the bag. Okay, so step one, let's create the secret. Let's start by creating a secret in AWS Secrets Manager. This is going to be the secret that we want to monitor access to. Okay, so we're kind of setting up the thing we want to protect. So in this step, we're going to navigate to the Secrets Manager console in AWS. And then we're going to create a new secret with a dummy value. And I say dummy value because it's not going to be like a real secret. It's going to be like a test secret that we can have fun with, okay? So let's have fun with this, and let's create a secret in Secrets Manager. I might need to expand this out a little. Oh, it looks a bit funny today, doesn't it? Doesn't it look a bit funny? Okay, hold on. I need to make this smaller, like this. It looks a little funky today. Maybe make this wider. I hope this is better, team. Boop. Like this. I think this is better. Oh, kind of. All right, I'll take it. All right. In this step, we will set up a secret in Secrets Manager. This is going to be the thing we want to protect. i.e., monitor access to. i.e., we will want to monitor access to this secret across the rest of this project. All right. Okay, so we're going to log into the AWS Management Console, and please log in as your IAM admin user. I don't want to hear anyone logging in as their root user. That is not security best practice. So if we're doing a security project, let's give our security best practice tips some justice. If you're unfamiliar with IAM admin users, we have guidance on this in the description box. So I would highly recommend following that. Now to start us off, we're going to head on over to the Secrets Manager service. So let's open up Secrets Manager. And Secrets Manager is a service that helps you with storing secrets. Easily rotate, manage, and retrieve secrets. So instead of storing important credentials in your code, yikes, or sharing them via email, you can tuck them safely away in Secrets Manager instead. So in this project, we're using Secrets Manager to store a dummy secret, but in real life, you'll be using Secrets Manager to keep database passwords, API keys, sensitive information, account IDs, things that would be a bit of a headache to resolve if they got leaked somewhere. And for Oliver, that's asking if this will be available to watch later. Absolutely, it will be. So the recording will be available in the Next Week channel in the live tab. The live tab. Like always, I will be honest. Only later. I'm guessing this is about the I am admin user. Hey. All right. So Secrets Manager is AWS's security service for storing secrets, i.e. database credentials, account IDs, API keys, anything that is sensitive information, that would cause damage or trouble if it got leaked, and shouldn't be lying around in code. Nice. And Gangada asks, is AWS KMS and Secret Manager, they're different? Yeah, they are. So KMS is more about encryption and Secrets Manager is about storing secrets. So just as an example, Gangada, you can encrypt things without having to put them away as a secret. Here's, for example, you can encrypt objects in your S3 bucket. And that means other people won't be able to see the contents inside your S3 bucket. Even if they try to infiltrate it, they can look at your S3 bucket's objects and everything is so scrambled up, they're like, what the heck am I looking at? It's not even interesting or valuable information to them because the object has been encrypted. Like all of the information has been scrambled up, it doesn't even look legible. And Secrets Manager is more about, imagine if you had a special password to get into your S3 bucket. Okay, that doesn't quite exist at all, but just imagine if you had a website that required like some sort of password to get access to your S3 bucket, and you're like, ooh, I don't want my password to get leaked anywhere. Let me store it in Secrets Manager. It's kind of like how people have a password manager nowadays, where you just have this tool in your browser that stores all your passwords and retrieves it for you when you need it. That's like Secrets Manager. Whereas encryption is really more about encrypting data that already exists, and it doesn't have to be like password text data. It can be like entire S3 bucket objects. So that's the difference there. Okay, so we're gonna store a new secret, and luckily there's a bright orange button here that gives us exactly what we need. So let's store a new secret like this. And you can see that we have all different kinds of secret types here, but we're gonna choose other type of secret. So all these other kinds of secrets are more about for like credentials for databases, that's all 4 of these like this. And then that other type of secret is what we're doing, where we're not actually storing like credentials for a database, we're just gonna store some dummy data. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter your secret. So you can say, this is a key value pair here, and I'm gonna explain what a key value pair is, but let's try action it first before we explain what it does. So our key value pair is gonna say the secret is, drumroll please, and then the value can be whatever you want to be your secret today. This, I would recommend just having fun with it, like enter a random secret, enter a hot take that you have as the value. So I'm just gonna enter I need 3 coffees a day to function. Imagine if that was your hot take, if that was your secret, you would just enter that there. Okay, so once you've entered that, we can talk a little bit more about key value pairs here. So Secrets Manager is storing secrets by storing first the label of your secret and then the value of that secret. So the key is like the label. So what you will put inside key will be like username, password, database name, API key. Like you're kind of labeling what you put here. In our case, we're like, oh, the secret is the label. Okay, imagine there's like a little title and then the actual value of the secret is inside the value. In other cases, you can say, API key, and then you can actually enter the actual key here. So that's kind of the meaning of key value pairs. And the reason why they exist is because it really, really helps databases be able to go through all of the different things you've stored and retrieve the right one for you very, very quickly. Because otherwise, imagine if imagine you have multiple rows of like secrets, key value pairs in this one secret. If we didn't use key value pairs, it's not going to be great. Oh yeah, and H made a good point here. It accepts spaces for keys. That's a good point. Yeah, sure did. So let's remove these. We only need one secret today. And then your encryption key, like Ingrid mentioned before, we're using a KMS key to encrypt our encryption key today. Sorry, we're using a KMS key to encrypt our secret today, not encrypt the encryption key. So encryption is like scrambling that message so that only people with the right key can unscramble it. By default, when you encrypt something with a KMS key like this, KMS, which is the key management service in AWS, automatically encrypts it for you, and automatically you have permission to decrypt it. But actually, once this key gets created, you can always have the freedom to go into the KMS console, edit the permissions, and be very specific about who has access to this encryption key and who doesn't, which is great. You're really like just determining access to your information, the secret itself, by using encryption keys. Okay, cool beans. All right, next up, we're just gonna finish up creating our secret here. So let's just give it a cool little name called Top Secret Info. And the description is gonna be something descriptive that just reminds you why you created this key, if you ever need to come back to it. All right, now we've got some spicy little settings that we're skipping today, but tags, again, are like just different ways that you can organize your secret. Because if you have like 10,000 secrets in your AWS account, you can assign them differently. You can have like tags for like, these are my database secrets. Tags to say, these are the secrets related to this project. Tags to say, maybe like only, I would say like these tags, or you can set up a foundational tag that says like everyone, in this AWS account should at least have access to these foundational like secrets. So tags are great for organization. Resource permissions allow you to control which users, roles, or services can access this secret. And I would say this one is optional, but you can absolutely just put in here who can use this secret and who cannot within here as well, within edit permissions. You can write a whole policy right here. Okay, and then you have secret replication. That lets you copy your secret to multiple regions so that applications that might need the same secret that live in different kinds of regions can all have access to that secret, because secrets are regional. So if you are trying to access it from a separate region, chances are you can't actually see that secret or use it. So you can replicate a secret and make it available in multiple regions. Pretty cool. Now we're going to click next now. Oh, a secret with this name already exists. That's on me. So I'm just going to add a little net thing to the front of my secret. Or maybe I'll do it to the back. I'll write next work. Top secret info, next work. And let's select next. Okay, so we also have something called configuring rotation, and this is great if you want the value of your secret to rotate. Now, I don't want the value of our hot take to rotate, like that doesn't really make sense, but where this is helpful is when you have database credentials or random secret key IDs, or like for GitHub, like personal access tokens, those random like mixes of letters and numbers. Those can be automated in terms of like how often you refresh them, which is what this one will be useful for. Okay, in the meantime, let's go ahead and review that we're using a secret called other type of secret. Other type of secret, or hello, why is this happening? All right, I think this is clearer. Okay, so let's review our secret setup. Now, is the type other type of secret? Yes, it is. Are we using an encryption key? We sure are. Are we using a secret name? Yes, we are. With a description? Yes. And then is secret replication disabled? I'm just noticing a quick question in the chat, which I'll come back to. And then there is rotation schedule, automatic rotation, disable. Cool. I think that means that our secret setup is all good. It looks great. And we have this H here that says, is a secret a collection of key value pairs which are encrypted by KMS? Or is each key value pair a separate secret? This is really good information. This is a really good question. And H, this first one is correct. So you would say that the entire secret is the collection of all the key value pairs that you set up there. But you can have multiple secrets. And each secret is its own set of key value pairs. Now, the reason why the entire key value pair set is one secret is because of the way private or confidential information is set up in general. Because confidential information usually isn't just one specific thing. It usually comes, like that piece of confidential information usually has different parts to it. Let's take AWS access keys as an example. You usually don't just have, oh, AWS access key and then a value. Like, it's not really like that. AWS access keys has an ID and then a secret access key. Like, already that's 2 rows for us, but that just counts as one secret, which is your AWS access keys with 2 rows. The first row to say access key ID, the second row to say your secret access key. And it's kind of like how when you have logins to a website, you have the username and you also have the password. So you want to put both of them into the same secret so they're organized together. Cool. Okay, so we got our secret. Let's store it straight away. And you should be able to see a little banner at the top. Oh, that banner does not look pretty. But let's just refresh that. So I think my banners got confused there because my first try of creating the secret failed, but the second try when I updated the name succeeded. So I actually have a successful creation of my secret, and I can still click into it to view the details. Okay, so we've got the details here, and it looks great. Whew, that's our secret done. All right, so to set up for our project today, we created a secret called Top Secret Info in Secrets Manager. This secret contains a hot take from us, ... We mentioned that we need 3 coffees a day to function. Contains a string. So this secret is a string that contains a hot take from us. We mentioned that we need 3 coffees a day to even function. So we've created our first secret in Secrets Manager now. That's awesome. And now we're on step 2. Step 2 is when we try to actually track access to the secret. CloudTrail is our monitoring service, which means that it will record events that happen in your account, like when you've created a resource, when you've updated a name of a resource, when you've updated a setting, and when someone decides to access a secret in Secrets Manager. So in this step, we're going to go ahead and set up CloudTrail, the eyes of our AWS account, to be able to see when someone is looking at a secret and opening the value of that secret. In this step, we will set up CloudTrail to monitor, to track events that happen in our account. This will help us catch logs of when, who, and how someone accesses or opens a secret. Cool. All done. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and head to the AWS Management Console again. We're going to head to CloudTrail now. So let's search CloudTrail. And from the left-hand navigation panel, we're going to select trails like this. And let's set up a trail. Okay, so here we're going to select create trail, and then we're going to start creating a trail. All right, now before we get started, you might be thinking, what is a trail? A trail in CloudTrail is exactly like a folder or record of activity that you want to store somewhere. So when you create a trail, you're basically telling CloudTrail, like, hello, I want to keep track of these kinds of activities, XYZ activities, and then store the data in this specific location. We need to set those two parts up. We need to tell CloudTrail what kind of activities we want to track, and we also need to tell CloudTrail where should we store the data that we catch. You can have multiple trails for multiple purposes, and the purposes that you can pick are honestly a little bit limited. There's like very specific types, and we're gonna see them in the next page after this as well. Okay, so CloudTrail is a monitoring service. It's used to track events and activities in our AWS account. And I think something about this definition that I quite like is that first it documents like the who, what, when, where, how, but also that this continuous recording is really valuable for security, like spotting unusual activity, which is what we're doing, troubleshooting, figuring out what actually happened behind the scenes if something breaks, and meeting compliance requirements, which is proving to someone and having evidence that you followed the rules. If they say things like, prove to me that you actually encrypt XYZ, you can go through your logs and say, yo, here's the log from CloudTrail. Absolutely proves that we have been encrypting XYZ as you've asked us to. Okay, so these logs are very helpful for security, i.e. detecting suspicious activity. Also for, do you remember, compliance, i.e. proving that you're following the rules or something. And what's the last one? What is the third reason why CloudTrail is really helpful? Do you remember? I'm going to just open a window in the meantime. All right. So the third reason why CloudTrail is helpful as well is that it also helps with troubleshooting, which is figuring out what actually changed in the background if something breaks. So let's add that in. So it's great for investigations in general. Nice. With that done, we're gonna set up our trail now. Now we know why we're setting up a trail. We're gonna specifically tell CloudTrail, there's this thing I really wanna track, and this is where you should store the logs once you track it. So for the name, we're gonna use Secrets Manager trail. And then we're gonna create a new S3 bucket as we do this. And S3 buckets are honestly just so good for long-term storage of something, which is great. So under trail log bucket and folder, enter a unique bucket name. Network Secrets Manager trail dash your initials. So make sure to edit this variable here and enter in your initials first before you keep on going. So I can say NO, like my initials. So let me just do that. Why not? All right, so Network Secrets Manager trail NO. Let's copy that and put that in here. Cool. Log file SSE KMS encryption. Do we need this? No, we don't. We don't want to get charged for creating a new managed key just to encrypt the log files. That's okay. We don't need that encryption today. If we really needed it, it would be like in production environments. So we're okay. And then we're going to keep the other default settings. Okay, so we've got log file validation, which is more about helping you verify that your logs haven't been tampered with, like no one's intercepted your logs and tried to edit it before you stored it in your storage location. SNS notification delivery, we're gonna do this in our secret mission. We'll talk more about it there. And CloudWatch logs, which is all about an integration with CloudWatch so that you can analyze and really filter down your logs afterwards as well. So we're gonna do this in like step 4 of this project. Now, you also have tags as usual to manage and organize your CloudTrail trails, but we don't need that. We'll be okay with just the single trail that we have. Oh my gosh, I know, right? We've got Robot Glock here saying, what if someone deletes or rewrites the CloudTrail log? This is a good question. I honestly haven't actually read about people deleting or rewriting a log, so you are the first person to bring this up. And I'm curious about this too. I wonder if, this is cool. I wonder if we can ask this in our project. Should I do that? Shall we give it a go? Let's give it a go. So I'm gonna go back up to, what is a trail maybe? Or what is CloudTrail? Okay, I'm gonna highlight what is CloudTrail, and I'm gonna ask it, what do you think is gonna happen? Okay. What happens if someone deletes or rewrites a CloudTrail log? Can that happen? Enter. Spicy question. While it's technically possible for someone to delete or rewrite CloudTrail logs if they have the permission, AWS's security measures make it very difficult and unlikely. The combination of encryption, access control, versioning, and auditing really make sure that CloudTrail logs have a lot of integrity and reliability around it. Interesting. So this is telling me that there is so much kind of transparency around logs that anyone will be able to see it as well if a CloudTrail log has been tampered with or deleted, which is quite interesting. Oh my gosh, it reminds me of, when you chat with someone in Messenger or in WhatsApp, and they can tell when something has been edited, and they can tell if a message has been deleted. I have a feeling it's kind of like that. You can't really run away too far. It gets attributed to you some way, one way or another. Very, very good question, Robot. I'm glad we did that. Okay, and if you have any questions, Oliver, do chuck it in the chat. Would love to talk about it. Okay, but let's get back to it. So we've got different kinds of events to manage in CloudTrail, and this is what I was saying when I say, we'll wait to the next page to talk about the different kinds of events you can track. Now is the time. We're going to talk about it now. Now you can see that there are 4 key categories of events here. We've got management events, we've got data events, we've got insights events, and network activity events. So we've got management events, which are all about admin actions inside your AWS account. Creating an instance, updating a security group, accessing a secret. All of those kinds of changes that you can make to your AWS resources get stored as management events. And data events are like high volume things like, let's upload files into S3, let's run our Lambda function. Like those are data events because you're kind of doing things with the resources that you've created. You're not exactly creating the resource or updating the resource itself. And then you've got insights events, which are really just about detecting unusual patterns. If someone started creating 100 IAM users out of nowhere when they usually just have the one. Insights events are likely to say, oh, that's a bit suspicious. Okay, and we've got network activity events, this last one. So this is great for anyone that's done that VPC monitoring project, VPC flow logs. So events that are related to what goes on in your VPC setup go here. Okay, okie dokes. So before we move on, I think some of you might catch on to something interesting that I said before. I said that data events are about things you do with the resources you create, but not necessarily about creating the resource itself. If we were to follow that definition, you would say, oh, but if we were to access a secret, if we were to open a secret, doesn't that also just make it a data event? Why are we taking management events, which are admin actions? So there's actually a very, this is something, that's good for experts that are curious. There's actually a very deliberate reason why accessing a secret is considered a management event and not a data event. It's actually something to do with pricing and the severity of that event. Now, in AWS, management events are free to track. Data events, insight events, network activity events cost money. But AWS is thinking, oh, we shouldn't charge people and not punish people, but make people pay to be able to see security related events. Like someone is accessing a secret, that's pretty major things, that's pretty major stuff, and you wouldn't want to put that behind a payment that people will have to pay for in order to track. So that's the reason why accessing a secret is actually a management event, because management events are free to track and they want to make sure that opening a secret is free for you to identify as well. Now that's the big reason. And also just because it's just so important. Like this is accessing a secret is considered like a high, you want to know about this kind of event. So management events is like the default setting that a lot of people use. And AWS is saying, all right, we're going to put that as almost like a default activity you would want to track so you don't miss it. Okay. All right, we're going to start answering this question about the different types of CloudTrail events and API activities. Great question from Gangada. CloudTrail events are stored as logs in S3. So a copy of those logs are stored in S3, but CloudTrail itself will also store events naturally inside this feature called event history. But event history only stores it for 90 days, and that storage of those logs are gone. So you can say CloudTrail events are stored for the long run, in the long term, in S3. Hey, good to see you. Welcome back. Wow, I hope you enjoyed this project. Have you been waiting for a security project? Welcome back. And we've got Oliver asking, would you consider adding more to this lab? Like doing a use case and get it done in Terraform as well. Oh, I'm curious what you want to know here. Oliver, is there, by use case, what will be like a use case for you? Is, storing a secret in Secrets Manager, is that a use case? Or are you looking for something different, something more? Let me know, Oliver, and maybe we can put something together. Okay, so CloudTrail events include types like management, data, insights, and network activity events. These events in this project, we set up our trail to track management events because accessing a secret is considered, falls into that category. It is not a data event, which captures high volume actions performed on resources because management events are free to track. And AWS lets us track security operations like this for free. Now under API activity, we're going to keep both read and write here. So read is when you just view something, write is when you actually create, delete, or edit it, or even try to retrieve the value of the secret. So retrieving the value of a secret, again, is inside like a surprising category. You would think, oh, we're reading it, we're literally reading a secret. But again, because write operations are usually the way that people set up management events. So people will say like, oh, I'm going to go into management events, I want to track them, and I'm only going to track the write events, because read events happen way too much, and people usually by default want to filter out read events. So people might just stick with write events and then go ahead, create their trail, goodbye. What AWS again is setting up here is that by making accessing a secret a write event, even if everyone were to just go for that default setting or that preferred setting of only looking at write events, they will still get logs related to their secret getting accessed. Yeah, which is great. You know, it means that people who are setting up their trails aren't forced to tick read events just because they wanted to see their security activity. You know, just by clicking on write, you get access to all of that too, which is really cool. Ooh. And I see my screen's gone funky. Why do I do this? Why do I do this? Okay. So we're gonna keep read and write ticked, and we're also going to let's do one more thing that we'll cover right after this. Okay. Read API activity involves accessing, reading, opening a resource. Write activity involves creating, deleting, updating a resource. For this project, we ticked both to learn about both types of activities. But we really only need the write activity. Accessing a secret is considered a write activity because of its importance. Awesome. So let's select done, and we're going to check two things before we finish. We're going to check the setting on excluding AWS KMS events, and we're also going to exclude Amazon RDS data API events. And I really like these two settings because it really shows us that AWS kind of gets what we do and what we like and don't like. These two settings will incur a lot of data. That's because KMS is like, you know, a behind the scenes service, and you don't know it, but whenever you're opening a resource, whenever you're accessing your S3 bucket objects, KMS is doing things behind the scenes. It's making sure that, oh, you actually have access to this, and then decrypting it for you, and encrypting it for you when you create something new, decrypting it for you again when you access it, when you click somewhere, when you see a list of EC2 instances. So because of that, KMS events happen all the time. It's like 99% of someone's CloudTrail events. So you will actually want to exclude it because it makes up a lot of noise when you're reviewing your logs and you're just trying to spot some important things. Instead of being able to, at a glance, be able to see the different kinds of services you use today, you'll just see KMS, 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 KMS. So like a lot of AWS KMS events, which is why you want to exclude that. Same reason goes for data API events. They can just generate a lot of events all the time behind the scenes because it's doing a lot of work behind the scenes with grabbing your data as well. Awesome. So let's go next. And let's start reviewing our work. Okay, so step 1, choose trail attributes. Secrets Manager trail is the name. Multi-region, yup. Apply trail to our organization, not enabled. The trail log location should be all set up. Nice. And then your log file, SSE KMS encryption should be not enabled. If it's enabled, please disable it because it'll cost money. And we've got log file validation, SNS notification delivery, disabled. Log file validation should be enabled. Cool. So that's step 1 ticked off, and we got step 2, choose log events. Management events, yes. There should be API activity, and we're excluding both things that will eventually just spam our account. So let's exclude those. And at the bottom, let's click create trail to create our trail. Okay, and congrats. Once it's done, you've set up CloudTrail to monitor API calls, which means we set up CloudTrail to monitor our account's activity. HS, are these CloudTrail settings for the whole account or for just a specific AWS resource? I wish I caught this in time. I'm wondering which CloudTrail settings you're looking at the moment. Are these CloudTrail settings for the whole account or just a specific resource? Since we were creating a trail just then, the settings we set up for CloudTrail only applies to that specific trail. So no, like if I were to take things like exclude KMS events, exclude this or that, that doesn't mean that other trails can't include them. Is that the setting you were thinking of? Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. 2 down, 2 steps down, 4 to go, and it gets faster from here. So we're going to go ahead and generate some secret access events because we're going to want to check whether or not CloudTrail was set up properly. That's a cool thing about Nextweek events, Nextweek projects, in my opinion, and also just about developing things and creating things when you're on your own. Make sure you just continue to check what you're doing, check your setup, see if there's any way you can verify the connections whenever you can. And in this step 3, we're just going to verify what we just did with CloudTrail. You know, we're in new territory today. We might be completely new to CloudTrail. So let's just see. Can it actually detect it when Secrets Manager, our secret in here, is being accessed? In this step, we will verify what we just set up in the first 2 steps. Can CloudTrail detect it when we access our secret in Secrets Manager? We're going to head back to the Secrets Manager console now. And you should be inside your page for your secret. If you're thinking I teleported, no, I didn't. I just switched tabs, but let's actually go through how you can find us from anywhere. Search for Secrets Manager like this. Let's click into it. And let us click into that secret. Okay, so click into your secret. Very cool. And on this page, we're going to scroll down the overview page until you see this secret value. Now we can open and look at the secret that we created. Whoa. Let's select retrieve secret value. Oh, so cool. The secret is I need 3 coffees a day to function. What was the secret you stored? I want to know. Okay, don't tell me if it's actually like a genuine secret, but tell me if it's like a hot take. I am collecting hot takes today from this project. I want to know people's hot takes. So what was happening behind the scenes when we clicked that button? Yeah, so we clicked retrieve secret value and bam, it's in front of us. So what's actually happening behind the scenes is that there's actually an API call to AWS to specifically the Secrets Manager service to ask Secrets Manager, hey, can you give me the value? of the secret that I stored. And that API call is called get secret value. Okay, so that's the trigger. That's really the thing that CloudTrail should look out for. Whether or not there's been an API call with this name, in your account. In fact, I think your trail is also going to pick up on a lot of different things because we would have done some other management events in our account, but get secret value would be one of them. Okay, so we want to make sure that that activity, that event that we just did, is monitored. Cool. So let's access your secret over the AWS CLI as well. This is just a second way that you can trigger this API call, but I thought it's good practice to have. Just continue to use the CLI whenever you can, build that muscle, build that practice, and this is like a simple 3-line thing that we can do to build that practice today. All right, so here's your chance at accessing your secret in a second way, which is the AWS CLI. Now I'm going to open CloudTrail from here. And this opens up our CloudTrail terminal. Ooh. Don't be alarmed. CloudTrail terminal is where you run some code. And you're basically running AWS commands in like, not code, but you're actually running AWS related actions with like text commands. Instead of us clicking around and selecting a button, we're now gonna tell AWS what we want to do using a command. Okay. That command is going to be called AWS Secrets Manager, get secret value, and then more information about our secret. So make sure to replace your region code at the end of the secret. You can see this little variable we've prepared for you. Just edit that to say your region code at the end of the command. And yeah, if you don't know where to find your region code, that's okay. Your region code is right here. Look at whichever region is being highlighted for you. That's the region code you're going to put in here. So for me, that's US East 1. I wonder what's the region code for you. Okay. Now there's actually a second thing I need to edit. Can you tell what? What is another thing I need to edit, like for my case in this command? It says AWS Secrets Manager, get secret value, and there's a secret ID and a region. What else do I need to update here? What else do I need to update? All right, so the thing I need to update is also the ID of my secret. Top secret info is not the name of my ID. Don't forget, I put next work to the end of my ID's name. So I need to update this command too. Now I'm going to run it like this and also update the ID to say top secret info, next work. Let's run it. Oh, I made an error. I wonder if people can tell what error I made. Oh, good question from H. Is it calling KMS too when you retrieve your secret? Yeah, it is. Literally every time you are looking at the value of something, KMS is in the background decrypting it automatically for you because it can tell that you have the permission to. Now, if you're also wondering what is the error I ran into, it was my region code. I'm in US East 1, not US East 2. Okay, so we got the secret now. Do you see it? I ran the command that said, hey, Secrets Manager, tell me the value of the secret. And Secrets Manager is now saying, all right. The name of your secret is top secret info next work. But what you want to know is the secret itself says the secret is my key, and my value says I need 3 coffees a day to function. If you need to, don't forget that you can press Q in your terminal to finish reading a secret. But before I forget, I should take a screenshot of this. Let's take a cheeky little screenshot and continue. All right. We retrieved our secret in two ways. First, through the Secrets Manager console, where we could easily just select a retrieve secrets value button. Second way was using the AWS CLI, i.e. running a command. And that command was called get secret value. And we ran that command where? CloudTrail. Okay, so we got that set up now. This looks pretty good, doesn't it? And we can select done. All right. Question from Gangadot today. Who can access the Secret Manager keys? Everyone is in the same AWS account. Now, are they all the same users? If you're using a different user, surely you can also decide which users can actually access the Secret Manager key. And if you have lots of different kinds of users, let's say me, Gangadar, H, Oliver, and we also have Madara in the chat here today. We got Robot here as well, of course. So that's how many people now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? We got 5 people. Plus Amit as well. We got 6 people in the call. So let's say all 6 of us are sharing an AWS account, but using different we're using different users. So I am admin user Nat, I am admin user Gangada, I am admin user Oliver, I am admin user Robot, so on and so forth. If that is the case, we can definitely say only these users can have access to the secret. These other users can't have access to this secret, but they manage this other secret. Users are a great way to do it. And of course, if you have a big account with like 30 users, then you can say this user group has access. That user group, like the interns group, can only have access to the foundational secrets. But, we can say the senior developers group can have access to like all of the secrets. You can do it that way too. I hope that helps. Did that answer the question, Gangada? Okay. Now, we need to go check out CloudTrail because we've accessed our secrets. We want to know if CloudTrail picked up on it. So let's search for CloudTrail again. Let's open that in a new tab. And once we're in the CloudTrail console, we can go ahead and select event history over here, like this. Ooh, we're now looking at our event history. Spicy. So we're now looking at our event history, and event history is where you can find all of your account's management events in the last 90 days. Okay, let's use it to quickly see, did CloudTrail capture our secret access event? Interesting. Now let's go ahead and look at our event history. And as you can see, so many events are already here. We got send heartbeat, which is something that was done by CloudTrail, put credentials, create session, delete session. So many events happen behind the scenes without us knowing. We created a bucket. Very cool. We created a trail in CloudTrail. Did you see that? Create a trail. Oh, cool. Yeah, created a bucket. Interesting, which is what we did when we created our CloudTrail trail as well. Nice. Okay, so we can clearly see now that there's a lot of different kinds of events that are already recorded, and they're all management events. Okay, so what we can see now, next, is our, okay. Now we can see next is whether we can filter and look for Secrets Manager events. So let's find event source. And let's look for specific events that were involving Secrets Manager. So Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Very fun. As you can see, I have 3 get secret value events that happened. Twice when I opened it over the console, I did that twice. Once when I did it over the CLI. So you should be able to see that their times are very, very close together for the first 2 tries. But only 4 minutes later did I try the CLI version, the CLI way. So that's me exposed. I got exposed, me seeing my own secret. They know it's me. They know Nat did it. I can't run away, team. Okay? CloudTrail knows too much. So as you can see, it's very, very helpful being able to just look at Secrets Manager events like this. And yeah, and you're right, H. So CloudTrail does have access to events that were made even before the trail's creation. That's because what we're looking at right now is not the trail itself. We're looking at the event history page. From the moment you created your account, CloudTrail would have already started looking at collecting your management events. Your management events are free to track, which is why they automatically happen in CloudTrail. So what's happening here is we created a trail, which is almost like a special folder to collect events that we later want to analyze and store for the long term. The reason why we created that trail is because we're like, hey, CloudTrail, I love that you're tracking these management events. I want to store them for longer than 90 days. I want to be able to analyze my things. So let me also create a trail to enable that. Otherwise, this event history page is simply this cool little feature you can visit to quickly check for events that have happened. But you can't exactly use this to store your data for the long term. So yeah, that's the event history page in a nutshell. Very nice. To analyze our CloudTrail events, i.e. see the event where we got our secrets value, we visited the event history page in CloudTrail. We found that there was a get secret value event tracked regardless of whether we did it over the CLI or over the console. This tells us that CloudTrail can definitely see and track when we open our Secrets Manager key. Excellent. All right, so interesting. We've confirmed that CloudTrail does record an event. So next up, we're gonna ramp up the intensity a little bit because we're gonna go into CloudWatch and start to really filter and analyze these events that we caught. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead in this step to enable CloudWatch logs, which are like folders inside CloudWatch to store logs as well. And then we're gonna define a metric that is going to just track when is our secret accessed, how often is it getting accessed. A metric is like a counter. Okay, tracked once. Open secret value once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, 6. Like that's what a CloudWatch metric does. So in this step, we will start using CloudWatch. Yay! CloudWatch will help us with what will CloudWatch help us with? CloudWatch will help us with what do you think? CloudWatch will help us with doing deeper analysis with our logs, plus what else? CloudWatch is also going to help us with creating metrics to track how many times an event happens. Okay, so let's select done. And so cute. Thanks, Amber. So cool. Go Nat. Magic are so sneaky sometimes. And watching clouds. We are like cloud watching. Oh, that's why it's called CloudWatch. How did that only just come through? Oh my gosh. All good, Oliver. Thanks so much for joining. And we got H that says a trail is just a subset of those events. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. A trail is like a subset of, you know, your event history, because you can say, you know, a trail stores like management events as well, and so does event history. The cool thing though, H, is that a trail can also store other kinds of events. Like we looked at the other event types. Imagine if a trail does management events and data events and like network traffic events. So really, really good observation, and I just thought I'd add that little bit to it as well. Awesome. And shout out to Amber, shout out to Marzena, doing some troubleshooting on the project link. The project link I'm also going to add to the chat here today, so you can all see it. Thank you so much. And we've got AI Sonu saying hi everyone. Hello, hello. Okay, so let's go back into the CloudTrail console and select trails in the left-hand navigation panel. Here we go, let's select trails. And what trail do we have here? The one you just created. Click into Secrets Manager trail, and you should see the details for it now. Now we're gonna go down, and you know that connection to CloudWatch we saw in the settings page? Let's do that here. Let's select Edit in that CloudWatch Logs panel. And let's check it. Let's go check CloudWatch Logs like this. Whoops. Apologies, team. And thank you so much, Marzena, for mentioning this. I'm just going to quickly check live for us. All right, team. I appreciate everyone's patience. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do a sneaky little check that can help us with getting the project ready for everyone. Let's see. And in the meantime, to everyone that's here, we got CloudWatch logs, and we got a whole settings page to look at. What do you think we should do with all of these settings? Should we be using log group existing? Should we be using IAM role existing? I'm gonna test you a little bit, and I'm gonna see if I'm gonna see how you end up setting up CloudWatch logs yourself. Okay. All right, so to everyone that's saying, oh, the link doesn't work, I'm just going to refresh something in the background. So we're gonna wait a few seconds, and then we're gonna try that link again, Marzena, and let's try it together in a few seconds. But thanks so much for mentioning in the chat, and we're gonna keep on going with the project. So we've enabled CloudWatch logs, and CloudWatch logs is the service that helps you bring together logs from different kinds of AWS services. It's not just CloudTrail that can send logs. It's not just CloudTrail that can send logs to CloudWatch. Other services are also capable of sending logs too. Did you know that? I think that's tea. I think it's tea that actually turns out there's such things like application logs, which are like logs that EC2 instances can send to say, hey, you ran this command to download this tool, you ran into an error, and then you tried a different kind of command. This application ran, this application didn't run. All of those kinds of things that can happen inside your EC2 instance can also be sent to CloudTrail to analyze. Those are called application logs for applications running on EC2. Like traffic logs can also be a part of that. Even things like CloudFront access logs to see who has tried to view your website page, your web page. That can be a log as well that gets sent to CloudWatch logs. Interesting, isn't it? And you can also, what I wanted to say is that you can also create alerts based on specific patterns. So someone accessing your secret, that can be an alert that you set up so that you get notified if someone decides to open your secret. What if you decide to, say, oh, I want to know if someone suspiciously decided to create like an S3 bucket with this specific name, or they decided to create like 20 different S3 buckets. Like, if you decided that's suspicious activity that you want to track, why not? Or let's say you have a log or you have an alarm that's just about making sure you stay within the AWS free tier limits or you don't go over budget, and you wanted to do this yourself. And you say, let me set up a log to just make sure that my EC2 instances, like the number of times I launch an EC2 instance doesn't go over this. Otherwise, send me an email. So many different ways you can use CloudWatch logs. Okay, so CloudWatch logs is, what is it? CloudWatch logs is a monitoring service that brings together logs from other AWS services, including CloudTrail, to help us analyze and create alarms for. It's important for monitoring too, because, why do you think it's important for monitoring? So it's important for monitoring too, because you get to create insights and get alerted based on events that happen in your account. Very nice. So to anyone that challenged themselves to setting up log group and IAM role on their own, log group should say new, okay, because we're creating a CloudWatch log group from scratch. We don't have an existing CloudWatch setup. We're starting something new today. And then for the log group name, you can always rename it so it's a bit friendlier than the default name. We can name it AWS Secrets Manager log group. And you can also give it an IAM role. So CloudTrail is definitely going to need an IAM, so CloudWatch is definitely going to need an IAM role as well to work. The reason for that is because you want to make sure that CloudWatch has access to CloudTrail, okay? Because CloudWatch needs access to CloudTrail in order to have its own copy of CloudTrail logs. But it also shouldn't have access to anything else. So an IAM role, as always, is a great way to control the access that our resources has to other things. And in this case, we just want to make sure that CloudWatch has access to CloudTrail, and it doesn't really need access to any of the other resources that we have. So a role is really good for helping us contain permissions to exactly what it needs, which is why it is so good for that principle of least privilege, security principle. Okay, we want to just make sure resources, services, people, applications, everyone just has exactly the permission level that they need, nothing more. And also nothing less. Okay? So we've created a role name here as well. Very nice. I think that is setting us up well. In case I didn't go through log group very well with us, I thought I'd quickly mention. So The log group is like a folder of logs from a specific app, a specific service, a specific kind of stream that you want to track. Sometimes, let's say you have a project that wants to bring together logs from different services. I want to bring together my logs inside a container service, the logs that come from my EC2 instances. I want to bring them together. So you can think of a log group as a folder to put together logs. For us, we only have one source, we only have CloudTrail, but if you ever want to combine sources, log groups are great for that too. You can say, oh, the logs from these two services, they all go into the same folder, the same log group. Okay, so we've got CloudWatch set up. I think we can save our changes and verify what we've just done. Okay, so let's select Save Changes, and we're going to head on over to the CloudWatch console. Okay, so it says for me that I already have a role with this name, which is all good. I think what I can do is I'll just write a little extra network thing at the end. So if you ever see that a name's already been taken, you can definitely add like a little thing, a little extra to the end of that name. And that should make it okay. Okay, so it seems like the log group name was taken as well. So I can say AWS Secrets Manager log group demo, because I'm doing this on a live project demo. Okay, we're getting our CloudWatch log groups getting created. And what really gets to me sometimes is that the error message doesn't go immediately. Sometimes you're like, oh, did I just get the same error? But no, it worked. We can actually even go over to CloudWatch now to just double check that we did everything correctly. Let's check. We're going to head on over to the CloudWatch console. And we're going to see that CloudWatch, that CloudTrail is really passing the logs that it's created over to that log group in CloudWatch. Okay, so head on over to the sidebar, and there should be like a logs heading. In there, let's click on log groups like this. And welcome to the logs group page. You're going to see that you've got different kinds of logs, log groups, different kinds of folders. If you only see one, I think that's perfect too. I happen to have 4 because I'm a log group ninja. But you know, if you only see one like this, that's perfect. Click into it. And then you can see that there are things like log streams coming up now. So you're only going to get one log stream like this if your CloudWatch log was set up very, very recently. And that's our case. So let's refresh this if you wanna, but I think sometimes it takes like 10 minutes for log streams to really come through. So we've got one log stream, which is perfect. And let's click inside the log stream. Whoa, and now we got events. We got heaps of events. Look at all this stuff that's happening. Each log is one event, and they match up to the events that are in CloudTrail's event history as well. So in this case, I can see that this is an event. You can expand it and see all the details inside. And you can see, what is this event? This event was to create a log group. Yes, that is true. We did create a log group. Okay, we did try to name it AWS Secrets Manager log group. So this is me when I tried to create the log group, and this failed later on because the log group name wasn't accepted. But you know, I gave it a shot. I tried. You know, and was that a management event? It was, and that's why it got tracked. Wow, cool. Very, very cool to see like exactly what I did and all the details about myself, like all inside here. Very cool. And for anyone that's looking at this is exactly how key value pairs work as well. So you have, you know, things like keys, and then you have the value associated with that key, with that label. Okay. So we've verified that we can connect CloudWatch, okay, to CloudTrail. All the logs from CloudTrail are now inside a log group. it can feel a little bit tricky sometimes to say, okay, but what was the point of this? So here's a little explainer. Sending logs to CloudWatch logs is actually a pretty big milestone for us because it does 3 things. The first thing is that CloudWatch logs is where we can set up alerts. So for the second part of this project, all about alerting us when things happen, that is made possible because that feature is available in CloudWatch, not in CloudTrail. Next thing, CloudTrail only stores our management events for 90 days, in event history. So CloudWatch logs, you can store them for as long as you like. You can analyze them for as long as you like. Whereas for event history, that analysis and that very visual interface you get with your logs, that's very time limited. It's time bound to the last 90 days. And CloudWatch logs really has these filtering tools that we're about to use later in this step. So it helps us really just sift through these events and only focus on things that we care about. Okay, so let's mention what we just learned here. Boom. CloudTrail's event history is useful for, it's useful for quickly getting access to that happened in the last 90 days. And specifically, it's management events that we can see in event history. While CloudWatch logs are better for analyzing logs from different sources, storing logs for longer, accessing logs for longer than 90 days as well. And advanced filtering, which we'll do in just a second. Whoa, so cool to see everyone here. Very, very cool. Okay, great suggestions there, Oliver. I'll keep in mind that you're looking for simulations for like cloud engineers and DevOps engineers. Very, very great suggestion. Well, think about like what is like a simulation project, Very, very interesting thought. I would love to hear any suggestions you might have for what could feel like a good simulation for you. What projects or what would you be doing to be considered a simulation? Like, do you need someone else to role play as something for you? Do you need projects to be about like briefs instead of step-by-step guides? Keen to hear your thoughts there. Oh, we got DJ Batman with double T's saying, hey Natasha, good to see you. Saying hi back. Do we use S3 here? Great question. And in this case, S3 storage is used for you to be able to retrieve your logs whenever you want. And if I'm not wrong, I think for CloudWatch specifically, when you get logs like this, you are also grabbing from the same bucket and simply like slamming them like into the account, like into your display. So what we're doing here is CloudTrail has stored these logs into S3, and then now that they're in S3, they're stored there. CloudWatch will be able to retrieve them as well. Now I'm saying this with a little bit of hesitance because there is also a chance that CloudTrail actually sends those logs directly to CloudWatch and CloudWatch stores them separately. I'm curious to know whether or not this is something that we can figure out straight inside the project. So let's give it a go. Does CloudWatch retrieve logs from CloudTrail, directly from CloudTrail? Or from the S3 bucket that's storing CloudTrail logs. Whoa, cool. CloudWatch logs does not retrieve logs directly from CloudTrail. Instead, they retrieve the logs from the S3 bucket that stores CloudTrail logs. Yeah, that's true. So what's happening here is that since we set up that S3 bucket when we created CloudTrail, what's happening here is that CloudWatch logs is subscribed to the S3 bucket and automatically pulls in new log files as they get delivered to S3 too. That's awesome. This approach lets CloudWatch logs access logs without requiring direct integration with CloudTrail. It's actually subscribed to the S3 bucket instead. That really simplifies setup, reduces the potential for dependencies between the two events, between the two services. So cool, isn't it? Oh, I love that. Very, very, very interesting to hear this. Okay. I love that so much. So great question, Gangada, and I'm glad you got us to research that for a little bit too. So we're gonna create a metric filter now, and we're gonna go back to your log group like this. So head back to your log group, and we're gonna select the actions drop down and create a metric filter. Oh, doesn't look too pretty, does it? Okay, so we're gonna go to the actions drop down and select create metric filter like this. And once you create the metric filter, you can now define your filter. So your filter is gonna say in commas, get secret value. This is basically us saying, I want to filter for all logs that mention get secret value. Give me them, please. Okay, so that's it. That's the pattern. We just want logs that mention it. But, you know, the filter patterns can get pretty advanced. I don't know if you saw in the suggestions here, but you can also match specific parts of a log event and combine them. You can also match log events that contain an error message, a warning. That's pretty cool, eh? All right, so I thought I'd let you guys know test pattern, this part, is something that we'll get into a bit more detail with in step 6 of this project when we try to test and troubleshoot our entire system. But for now, know that test pattern is all about making sure that your filter actually works by throwing in a few examples. For now, let's focus on creating the filter itself. And let's move on and click next at the bottom. Okay, the filter name, let's get secrets value, that's our filter. And then the namespace is like, where in the world of AWS would you put this metric? And in our case, we're like, oh, it's like kind of a security service, so we'll call it a security metric. And you know, I really like that it's pretty broad, because now any other security related metrics we can all put inside the same namespace too. And the name for this is secret is accessed, so that when you get an email, or when you get a, or when you try to like filter through different kinds of metrics, it's very, very clear to us that this metric is all about the number of times this event happens, get secrets value happens. Okay, the metric value is 1, and what that means for us is that whenever the filter, like a log matches this filter, so whenever another event with the words get secrets value is in there, we will count the metric and add 1 to it. So for us, because you could see that event 3 times, then our metric value for this metric is going to be like 3, because it's happened 3 times already. We've retrieved our secret 3 times. But what you're going to see soon is that this metric value also doesn't just count perpetually. It doesn't just count like all the times it's happened in history. That number will be like in the thousands or millions, or just way too big if it just continued counting forever. The metric value is actually going to be time bound. So it's like how many times in 5 minutes, how many times in 1 hour. And yeah, we'll just keep it at 1 for now. Now the default value is going to be 0. that helps us with making sure that even if nothing happens in that period, at least we can record the number 0 for that metric. It's much better to have a 0 to see your line, just like flat line at the bottom of the chart, than to not see any line at all if there was no number recorded at all during that time. Okay, so let's go ahead and select next. But you can also, before you select next, take a screenshot of your completed metric filter. Your completed metric filter pattern. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna take a screenshot like this. I'm gonna capture my filter's name and the other details. Okay, so let's also add that to our project documentation and move on. Okay, so a CloudWatch metric is, all right. A CloudWatch metric is a specific way that we can count or track events that happen in our, or we can count or track events that are in a log group. When setting up a metric, the metric value represents how we increment or count an event when it passes our filters. In our case, we want to increment our metric value by 1 whenever our secret is accessed. The default value is used when the event that we're tracking does not occur. Cool, all done. Okay, so let's select next now and preview our work. Now, when we're reviewing this, let us use a filter pattern called getSecretValue. And then does your filter name in step 2 say getSecretsValue as the filter name? Perfect. Is the metric name secret is accessed? Nice. What about the metric namespace? Is it security metrics? Very good. Is it applied on transform logs? That doesn't matter for this metric, so we didn't need to set it up. And then you've got metric value and default value, 1 and 0, and the unit, which is another dash. So if you're wondering why we didn't use unit, I would say the unit metric is quite an interesting one, and it had very specific settings that didn't quite apply to ours. It's like how many seconds, microseconds, bytes, megabytes. Actually count could be good. I just realized count could actually work, but given that it's optional, this unit is more about how your metric gets displayed. It doesn't quite affect anything else. It's more about the display name of your metric. Yeah, I think count could actually work quite well, but it's not at all required. So all good if you leave that empty too. Okay, so let's create the metric filter now. Let's select create metric filter. And you should see a green banner at the top confirming that your metric filter has been created. Awesome. Now we've created the metric filter, and I think we're now ready to track what happens, or like what we should do when our secret does get accessed. So what we should be doing here is a way to alert ourselves when the secret gets accessed, and a way for us to actually send a message directly to us so that we get notified. Ooh, okay. Now, 2 services that we're going to be using, or 2 resources. One is called the CloudWatch alarm, and the other one is called an SNS topic. The CloudWatch alarm, which you're going to set up first, is going to trigger whenever secret is accessed goes over a certain threshold. And we're going to see what that threshold is, but you can definitely make your guess now on what you think, what that could be. We'll also set up an SNS topic to receive email notifications when the alarm gets triggered. SNS, I would say, isn't like a monitoring service. It's actually more like a messaging service. So it stands for Simple Notification Service. And what it does is it lets your AWS resources send notifications to people. And those notifications can come over email, SMS, mobile push, anything else. We'll be able to see all the different ways in a second. In our project though, we're going to use it to send an email alert. So when CloudWatch detects that someone's accessed our secret, let's make sure we get an email about it. All right, so we're almost in the final stretch of our diagram. We just have testing to do right afterwards. In this step, we will set up CloudWatch alarm, and we're also going to set up an SNS topic. The CloudWatch alarm goes off, i.e. it detects when something's wrong or something exceeds a defined threshold, whereas SNS notifies, i.e. it tells you that something's gone wrong. Okay, so we're still in our CloudWatch alarm page, but we're going to select that metric filters tab here, and you're going to see that your metric that you just created, get secrets value, is right here. Very nice. We're going to scroll down and check that box like this, and we're going to create an alarm around it. Do you see that alarm? Let's click on that and let's create an alarm. Okay, our alarm setup is going to be nice and simple because we've got a namespace. All of these metrics belong to security metrics. That's already set up. The metric name already set up, secret is accessed. And then for the statistic, let's use average today. So average is basically saying let's count the average number of times our secret was accessed in this time period, 5 minutes. Okay, so we've chosen 5 minutes, and every 5 minutes from now, after we create this alarm, CloudWatch is going to go ahead and periodically check every 5 minutes. All right, on average, how many times was your secret accessed in the last 5 minutes in the period that's been? Great. So with that, we can go down and set our conditions. So when should CloudWatch alarm be alerted? Okay, it's going to check your events. It's going to check your get secrets access events, get secrets value events. But when should it say, oh, that's too many times that your secret is being accessed? I alluded to it a little bit throughout this project guide, but if you've guessed that maybe it's 1, just as long as it happens at all that we should be alerted, that's correct. So our threshold value is 1, which basically tells CloudWatch that whenever our secret is accessed, please alert, go off, say, oh my gosh, I need to tell someone. Okay, so sometimes, in production environments, some teams might actually say, hey, it's actually like 10 times, it's every, 10 times every minute is actually okay for us if, their team is just that big and their secrets are just being accessed that often. Of course, metric filters in general and metrics are designed to be very, very flexible and adaptable to different kinds of metrics you want to track. So if you actually want to see like how many times are your bucket objects being viewed, maybe you only want to be alerted, about really high traffic when you get to like 1,000 views every hour. So we would want to define these metrics to be very, very flexible around different kinds of needs. Okay, next up, we can now configure the action, or we will configure the action. For now, let's quickly mention what we're building here with the CloudWatch alarm, and then we'll define the notification. Okay, a CloudWatch alarm. What do you think? What is a CloudWatch alarm? Would you like a hint? Shall I show you a hint? What do you think? Alrighty. A CloudWatch alarm is a feature and alert system in CloudWatch that's designed. What is it designed to do? What does an alarm do? It's designed to go off, i.e., indicate when certain conditions have been met in the events in our log group. I'll say like this. So a CloudWatch alarm is really just this feature. It's like this alert system. It's just designed to go off. It's supposed to tell you when certain conditions have been met in our log group. Very, very nice. Helps us to notify when the event is triggered. Not bad at all, Gangada. We set our CloudWatch alarm threshold to... What do you think? I actually hid it away. Do you remember? Do you remember what we set our CloudWatch alarm threshold? I took it away from you. Oh no. So we set our CloudWatch alarm threshold to be... So the alarm threshold should be about how many times our alarm... how many times the get secrets value event happens in a 5-minute period. So the alarm will trigger when the average number of times is above 1. Okay, so we're now on the configure actions page, and this is how we tell CloudWatch what to do when it does get alerted. So under notifications, we've got the default setting in alarm, which says, oh, so what should our alarm do when we actually do reach that threshold? We do want to be alarmed. We want to be like, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. And here we get to decide what to do next. So to get notified, you can send a notification to one of these SNS topics. Ooh, we can create a new topic since we're new to this. And under topic name, enter security alarms. Under email endpoints, this is where you enter your email address. Okay, and that email address will be subscribed to the topic that you create here. So you're kind of like creating like a newsletter with this topic, and then you're adding a subscriber to your own newsletter. Cool. So it's going to enter an email. Very nice. And then you can create your topic like this. Bam. Just like that, we've kind of got a newsletter set up now for security alarms. Do you want to subscribe to mine? Should I add you? Should I add you as an endpoint? Do you want to get notified too? Just kidding. Don't randomly chuck your email into the chat if you don't want to get random emails from random people. But if you do, the chat's open for you. Don't do it. Okay. So you might be wondering, wait, what is an SNS topic? I know I mentioned it just now that it's like a newsletter that you can subscribe to. And the beauty of that is that SNS will automatically deliver messages to all the subscribers of that topic. So, I can add everyone's emails as endpoints here. And that means all of you, everyone in this call, everyone that's watching this, can also get notified when my alarm is accessed. When my secret gets accessed. Now, there's also flexibility that we can talk about because it's not just emails that you can use to notify people about it. You can also do text messages. You can trigger an automated response via Lambda. You can even integrate it with other applications like Slack. So you can always just set up this newsletter, and the way people get notified, when there's been an update to that newsletter is very flexible. Okay, so we've created that topic now, and let's mention what we've just learned. We created an SNS topic along the way. An SNS topic is like a newsletter or a broadcast channel that emails, phone numbers, functions, apps can subscribe to. So they get notified when SNS has a new update to share. Our SNS topic is set up to send us an email when our secret gets accessed. Sweet. So we're gonna head to the name and description for the alarm. And if you're wondering, wow, what is going on over here? These are all of the other kinds of ways you can respond when your alarm goes off. So do you want us to run a random Lambda function when your alarm goes off? Do you want to auto scale any instances if your alarm has to do with instances? This is very helpful. Systems Manager and EC2, other kinds of services, do you want to trigger them to do something? And there's also something called an investigation action. Ooh, this action will create an investigation, which will likely track, the root of why this alarm went off when it's an alarm. Very cool. Okay, team. So our alarm is going to be called the secret was accessed. Ding, ding, ding. And then the description is going to say, this alarm goes off whenever a secret in Secrets Manager gets accessed. Nice. Let's create that now. And bam, we've got a review page that says we can now review the namespace security metrics. Very nice. The metric name, the secret is accessed, our statistic, average, and the period, every 5 minutes. The conditions, let's make sure that we're just tracking something that's static, which means we are looking strictly just on whether or not it's greater or equal than 1. Because what if, you want to do things seasonally? I only want to check if it's greater or equal than 1 when it's holiday season, but actually it's okay if it's greater than or equal to like 7. It's okay to change this metric at different times of the week or different times of the year or different times of the day. Great. So now you also have a notification that you can send, which for us we've set up as when an alarm, send a notification to security alarms. And this is the SNS topic that we set up. So let's create the alarm now. I think we're ready. We're almost ready. We just got that name and description to check off. Okay, but if that looks all good, we are ready to create our alarm. Let's head on over, create the alarm, and off it goes. We've got the alarm created, and we also have a subscription that needs confirmation. So a subscription is like an email address that's going to receive messages you publish to your SNS topic. So these are the subscribers that I mentioned just now. In our case, my email is subscribed, to this alarm. I wanna get the emails, when the alarm goes off. But AWS isn't gonna just let you automatically send emails to anyone you put on as a subscription. The person or the email address on the other side also needs to confirm that AWS is allowed to send it emails. So this is great for security of people who are getting notified. Okay, you can even see that there's a warning for our alarm that says that this action sends a message to an SNS topic, but the endpoint, the email on the other side, is pending confirmation. So it's not going to work as you expected until the email actually confirms that you're allowed to send it emails. Okay. So head on over to your email inbox, and I'm going to do this in a new tab. And in your email inbox, let's open up the email that says it wants to confirm your subscription to a certain SNS topic. Great. So it says here, you have been chosen to subscribe to the topic called security alarms. That's what we created. So let's subscribe right away. Okay, great work. Our subscription is confirmed. Let's take a screenshot of the success. Looking good, team. Looking good, good, good. And let's reflect on that. AWS requires email confirmation because it would not automatically start emailing addresses that we subscribe to a topic, to an SNS topic. This helps prevent any unwanted subscriptions from recipients, i.e. subscriptions, i.e. people who are receiving those emails. Nice work. So you've set up CloudWatch alarms in an SNS topic now. We're going to test email notification in the next step, and we're going to do a little secret mission in the meantime. So now that we've built out an entire monitoring system, you might be curious, do we really have to go this far and bring together this many services to build out this monitoring system? We have CloudTrail, CloudWatch, alarms, SNS. There might be a lot going on. So why are we doing all of this work? Is there any way that we could have simplified it or make things a little bit more, I would almost say like simple with less services involved? There's actually an option for us out there called direct CloudTrail notifications. And you might have noticed it just now when we were setting up our CloudTrail trail. Turns out there is a way that CloudTrail can send emails direct to you via SNS. And that would skip the entire CloudWatch setup. All the time we spent on creating that filter, creating that alarm, gone. Emails gonna come from CloudTrail, triggering SNS, and an SNS sending that message to you. How can we make that happen? So in this secret mission, we're gonna configure a direct SNS notification from CloudTrail and just compare that with our CloudWatch setup too. No, I love this secret mission because you get to showcase some advanced cloud architecture and decision-making skills in your documentation. Instead of just explaining why we're doing something, you're now leveling up to talking about what we're not doing and why we're not doing that other option as well. All right, so let's go ahead and start our secret mission. Very nice. And this starts by heading over to CloudTrail one more time. So I've got a CloudTrail tab open, but I can absolutely visit it one more time like this. So let's click on CloudTrail. And in the left-hand navigation pane, we're going to select Trails. So we're going to select our trail like this. And then later on, once you select inside, what you can do next is you can now head on over to the edit part of your general details. And check out this little setting here. It says SNS notification delivery at the bottom. We can enable that to enable a direct connection between CloudTrail and SNS. So this time SNS is asking, oh, do you want to create another new topic? We're like, no, actually, let's use an existing one. In that previous step, we set up a cool little SNS topic called security alarms. So let's add that to the security alarms newsletter. And now we're going to get notified even when CloudTrail has something to send to you. So let's go ahead and select Save Changes like this. Great. That looks really, really good. So now that we've enabled it, whoa, you can see SNS notification delivery now mentions the SNS ARN. So that confirms to us that we're going to start getting emails directly from CloudTrail now. Now, when you enable SNS notification delivery like this, what happens is you get a notification every single time a new log file is added to your S3 bucket. This is different from your CloudWatch alarm. CloudWatch alarm will only trigger when that specific pattern has been met. So SNS notification delivery does not care about whether or not the event is, accessing a secret. It's just going to tell you about every single event. Oh my gosh. Very, very cool. Now that we've saved it, we're going to head back to our Secrets Manager console. And we're going to try and just open up our secret one more time and just seeing whether or not we get an email about it from CloudTrail. Okay, so we're going to select Retrieve Secret Value. Then we see it. Did we get an email about it? Let's have a look. Okay, so in a project extension, we enabled SNS notification delivery in CloudTrail because this lets us evaluate CloudTrail versus CloudWatch for notifying us about events like our secret getting access. Okay, so let's hit done and let's go ahead and check our email inbox one more time. What do you think? Do you think we're going to get an email team? Let me check my inbox. Let me check my inbox. Whoa, crazy. Look at that. So I've gotten 6 emails already ever since I ticked that little enabled box. And look at that, 2 more messages. Woof. We got more logs. And the funny thing is these logs actually don't tell us much. It just says, hey, by the way, new log in the S3 bucket. They don't tell us what's inside the log or what the log actually means. So if you wanted to know whether or not your secret's been accessed, you technically can't tell directly from the email. You can only tell that a new log has been added to the bucket, and you will have to check separately. Oh, is that event a secret getting accessed? Whoa, I just got another new message. All right. So let's take a screenshot to show that you now have multiple email notifications. Whew. Someone's popular. My goodness, that's you. We got the screenshot. Let's add that to our documentation. And let's see. After enabling CloudTrail SNS notifications, our inbox was very quickly filled with new emails from CloudTrail, from SNS, as it was notified by CloudTrail. In terms of the usefulness of these emails, we thought that we're receiving lots. It's a little overwhelming. And the logs themselves don't show what happened in terms of management events. That occurred. We only see that new items have been, new logs have been stored in our bucket. Whew, look at these. I got 5 new messages just in that time alone. 6 now. That's a lot. I'm pretty impressed. So this huge wave of emails is only going to continue and add up as long as you keep your SNS notification setting on. So we're definitely going to be learning how to turn that off. And in the meantime, I thought it would be nice to just recap a little on how that compares to CloudWatch. Now, CloudTrail batches events over a period of time, and you end up with having a lot of log files and lots of notifications because these new events in this period of time where CloudTrail is storing new logs, it's a pretty short period of time. So you're going to get these notifications very frequently because CloudTrail is going to be storing a new log file like a few times a minute now. Now, because it's not just secret access, it also means you get notified on events not related to your secrets at all. So that's exactly why CloudWatch Alarm is so targeted and so useful. With CloudWatch, you're filtering only for exactly the events you care about that are triggering the alarm based on the filters that you set up and the threshold that you set up. Okay, in a production environment though, like this stuff that we're seeing here, this direct notification is still very helpful if you want to send these notifications to an app for further processing. Not to your emails, but maybe to an app that's going to be interesting. Well, we're going to stop the emails for now. You can head back to the CloudTrail console and select your trail again, and then select that edit panel to uncheck the checkbox so we can go through that flow for sure. If you are someone that knows exactly where you left that trail in your window, like as a tab, you can just click edit straight away and then uncheck the box for SNS notification delivery. And then save your changes. And just for anyone that would like to find this with me, you would find CloudTrail like this. And then you will select your trail like this. And then you can click into your trail to keep going. Select edit here. And then that's where you can select, you can disable SNS notification delivery again. Okay. Now, CloudWatch alarms and direct SNS notifications have different use cases. For example, if the SNS topic was configured to send messages to other apps or systems for further analysis and processing. Then CloudTrail would be a great fit for the job. Since we only want to be notified about secrets access, CloudWatch alarm, which is more targeted, is the better approach. Nice. Okay, so final step, everyone. We're here already. Let's test our email notification setup. In this step, we're gonna try and start from the top where we retrieve and open our secret, and then we're gonna see whether we get an email on the other end. If it all works, then that means everything in the middle is working fine, and it's actually funneling your data down this system that we've created pretty well. If it doesn't work, then we got a bit of troubleshooting to do, and let's see how we go. Okay, in this step, we will test our entire monitoring setup by, what are we gonna do? By accessing our secret one more time, then verifying whether we get an email about it. All right, clear as day. I think I know the plan. Let's go and trigger our alarm by going back into our Secrets Manager console, which should be right here. And let's try and retrieve our secrets value again. So let's select retrieve secret value. And here we go. We need 3 coffees a day to function. That's crazy. That's our hot take. And it's exposed. So now that it's exposed, let's head on over to our top secret info secret, which is all the way in, oh, actually I just realized I did all this without scrolling. So I'm actually right here. What do you think is going to happen now? You know, are you going to get the alert email? So to test our monitoring system, we opened and accessed our secret again. The results were, we don't know yet, do we? Let's go ahead and check our email inbox, see if we got a notification. Surely we did. Let's have a look. All right, team. Well, the last email I've gotten is just from all these notification emails from SNS. I'm not getting an email, team. I'm checking my inbox. It's right in front of me. But I can't seem to get an email. This is still my latest email, team. This one here. This is still my latest email, and it was 4 minutes ago now. So something has passed. You know, we've accessed our secret, and we're still not getting an alarm about it. So let's talk about that. That's confusing. The results weren't successful. We didn't get any emails or notifications about our secret getting accessed. So we're going to do a bit of troubleshooting now, team. Let's troubleshoot our notification setup. And there's a few places where things could have gone wrong. You know, CloudTrail, maybe it didn't record the event at all. Maybe it didn't send logs to CloudWatch. Maybe CloudWatch's metric filter isn't actually working, like it's accidentally filtering out events where we access our secret. What if SNS just isn't delivering the email to you? What if it's wrong there? Or maybe what if our alarm doesn't get triggered at all? So let's check this off one by one. Let's see what's the problem here. Okay, so do we think CloudTrail actually recorded the event? Did something go wrong here? Let's find out. You've done this before in step 3. We're gonna do it again. Do you remember how to check your CloudTrail logs? You can stop here if you like and challenge yourself. So let's go ahead and visit CloudTrail. Ooh, what do you think? Do you remember? What do we pick here? What do we pick to see the latest events at a glance? What do you think? Let's go ahead and click on event history. So let's check our event history and let's see. Sauce. Do we get an event from Secrets Manager? But we do. Okay, so as you can see, we got a get secret value event here. What was the time? 12:13. Yeah, 5 minutes ago. So we're definitely getting tracked by CloudTrail here. I think it passes the check. Yeah, it passes our vibe check, okay? It's not sus. It's not suspicious. It did track the event when we accessed our own secret. So that means CloudTrail did capture the event. So don't forget to jump back up to the top of these tabs. Let's say that first troubleshooting check, turns out it was fine. Next troubleshooting check, maybe something went wrong here. Could it be that CloudTrail didn't send something to CloudWatch? Maybe? We're gonna stay in the CloudTrail console here. And this time, we're gonna select trails. It's from the side. And trails, once you click on it, you get to pick your trail. It's looking pretty cool. And what do you think? What do you think we can do here to just make sure CloudTrail is actually sending logs over to CloudWatch? What do you think? Sometimes it is simply a check for a field inside its details. Inside general details, there's a bit of proof. The last log that was delivered was 12:18, like a minute ago. So logs definitely are getting delivered to CloudWatch. Okay, this is pretty good proof. Damn. It even says the log group that it sends to is the log group that I created. Well, we created a log group here. So it seems like CloudTrail is actually delivering logs over to CloudWatch. So in that case, we should probably jump back up to the top of the tab, to the top of these troubleshooting steps, and investigate the other 3. Now here's your chance to be a little detective and make a guess with me. Which of the 3 do you think is the actual culprit? What's your vote? Do you think it's the metric filter? Do you think it's SNS? Do you think it's your CloudWatch alarm? Okay, so I'm keen to hear what you think. You know, whether it's the metric filter that went wrong, maybe your SNS subscription isn't sending you things, maybe the CloudWatch alarm isn't triggering something. Let's take it step by step. Let's look at the metric filter first. So maybe our filter is accidentally rejecting the event where our secret is accessed. Let's go ahead and have a little chat with CloudWatch. So let's open up the CloudWatch console. We're gonna say, hey CloudWatch, you know that filter I set up? Are we accidentally just like passing off events that we actually should be catching? Let's see. So let's go ahead, head on over to our log group. And my log group today is called log group-demo, so I'm going to be sticking with that one. And we have a little metric filters tab that we can go back to. Select the checkbox for your filter and then select edit. Now this is where we're back into the creation of our filter, and here we're going to finally use this test pattern panel to see whether or not it can accurately grab the event where you're accessing your secret. Now here's a bunch of test log events. They look pretty intense, don't they? But they do differ in some points in time, and also some of the details around the IP address, the user agent. All in all, these are log events we can have a look at and see whether or not our filter can correctly go through all of these events and correctly pick out the ones where, from this test, where we configure that they're getting the secret value. So this big block of text does contain sample CloudTrail log entries. They simulate different kinds of activities you can do with Secrets Manager. So each entry, each row here, represents a different action. Now there's a few get secrets value sprinkled around here, but there's also others like describing a secret, which means just opening the secret's information and just looking at like, oh, what day did I create the secret? What is the secret called? Instead of actually viewing the value. And there's also creating a secret itself. That's also hidden amongst all of this test data. So let's copy the code and let's put it through log event messages like this. Whoa, okay, so now we got lots of logs here that we can test. And let's click on test pattern. Ta-da! As you can see, we have some successful results. If you were to scroll further down the results, you also notice that they record an event called get secrets value. Do you see it? Da-da-da-da. Get secret value is mentioned. This tells us that the metric filter actually does work. It does correctly filter for the events where your secret is getting accessed. So looks like the metric filter is actually fine. We're down to the final two team. Maybe SNS is wrong, or maybe your CloudWatch alarm isn't triggering an action. Let's do the CloudWatch alarm first and then the SNS last. So maybe it's here. Maybe your alarm isn't getting triggered and turning into an SNS notification to send out. Let's troubleshoot this by triggering the alarm manually. So let's open CloudTrail, just right over here. And first we're gonna run a command that asks CLI, hey CLI, can you tell me how to run the command for triggering the alarm? How do I write that command? I actually don't know how. So we're actually going to CLI just to ask for some help with writing the command itself. Let's go ahead and copy that code here and paste that command in the terminal. And now you get a bit of documentation about the CLI command called set alarm state. So here CLI says, oh, you want to know how to run this command? You want to know the details? Let me give you all the detail. And like here you see a lot of detail around how to use this command, what is the best practice, what does it actually do? And here, you know, unbracketed are the required details for this command. Cool. So here we've got alarm name, which is the name of the alarm you want to trigger. State value, do you want to put it in alarm state, Do you want to put it back into OK state? You can actually change the state to different kinds of things. And then you even have to state the reason. You got to tell CloudWatch, why are you doing this? So let's try and apply this by first exiting this read mode, which we do by clicking Q on the keyboard. And once we're here, let's try and run the command that CloudWatch CLI help us set up. So we've got set alarm state. We want our alarm, secret is access, to be an alarm state. Ding, ding, ding. And the reason for that is we're just manually triggering the alarm to test it. Test whether or not our alarm can get triggered at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and see whether or not we get a notification email now. Head back into your inbox, and this time let's check if you got any new emails. I just got one. Did you get yours? I got one 0 minutes ago, team. Yo, 0 minutes ago, I got the alarm. I got the email that one of my alarm has been triggered. It's entered the alarm state because of manually triggering for testing. So the reason that we entered is also here. Very cool. So we know the alarm can trigger an email. We're about to go down to our final investigation. Maybe the CloudWatch alarm isn't being triggered when it should. So we're gonna go back to CloudWatch. We're gonna say, hey, it turns out that my alarm is capable of triggering SNS and sending an email to me. So maybe it's just not being triggered. Maybe that's the reason why I'm getting 0 emails. Good idea. So let's go back into CloudWatch and head into that alarms panel. Select all alarms and select your alarm. And then select Actions, Edit. Now on the alarm details page, look at the statistic field. Look at this graph here. It looks so, doesn't look quite right, does it? You look at this like intense range of zeros. Intense bunch of zeros. And then there's this random like non-zero number, but is also really, really small. That's like 0.002333. Do you see that number? You know, and it's 0, and then again, a random number, 0.002. Okay, so we've got some random numbers sprinkled in between zeros. Why are those numbers so small? So turns out it's because the statistic we're using today is average instead of sum. So sum is actually where you're counting up occurrences. You're like, okay, happened once, happened twice, happened 3 times. Average is like the number of times the secret was accessed per second over the 5-minute period. So if you were to put the number of times you access it, like 1 time, divided by the number of seconds in a 5-minute period, you're gonna get a really, really small number. And that's the reason why this number was so small. It was incredibly small because it was trying to calculate the average. So we're gonna change that to sum. And you can already see that your graph gets updated to showcase a much more accurate depiction of, okay, your alarm is like in red state, it's in alarm state for every single time you access your secret. Very cool. And then you can also update that period from 5 minutes to 1 minute just to trigger the alarm even faster, make it refresh itself even faster. So we see the secrets, we see that whenever there's this spike, our secret was accessed. Very cool. So everything here looks same as usual, just as long as it happens at least once, we're gonna trigger the alarm. Let's hit next. And then skip to preview and create here. And then we're gonna go all the way down and update our alarm. Cool beans. So we know that CloudWatch alarm isn't triggering an action. That was very, very helpful. We found a key thing that we could change there. So what's next is for us to just double check. Maybe SNS went wrong too. You can't guarantee it, right? Like there's no way for us to be sure that SNS didn't have any issues either. So let's double check it as well. Head on over to the SNS console and let's try to verify that it can correctly send emails to you. Now the ironic thing is that we've already received tons of emails from SNS. So if this test fails, that means that something funky really is going on because SNS clearly is capable of sending emails to you already. Okay, so let's search for SNS and open it up. And then we're going to look at our topic and publish a message to it. I'll show you what that means. We've got a topic going, it's called security alarms, and we're going to publish a message to it. Do you see that published message? Click on that. And then we're just going to put in a random subject like testing. And then the message body is going to have a quick message like, what's up? That's the message we're about to send in this test. Okay, once it's done, we're going to select publish message. And this is how you can test whether or not SNS can correctly send emails to your address. Now, I'm going to let SNS take its time sending that message to me, because in the meantime, you might notice that there's something called message attributes here that we skipped. And this is really fun. Like this is an important thing for sending things about the message, which is almost like metadata about the message to be sent alongside the body itself. So imagine if it said, what's up? And then there was also in that message, oh, at what time did I send this? Oh, at what location did I send this? Do I have any IDs or signatures that I also want to send about this message along the way? This is very, very helpful for any system that is set up so that the person or the party or what the application receiving the message can automatically filter based on the metadata or these message attributes. A banking app might just use message attributes to automatically mark notifications as like urgent or standard based on the attributes that are inside the message. Okay, well, we've published our message now. I'm gonna double check. Do you get an email that says, what's up? Foo-foo, I certainly do. I hope you do too. So I got the message that says, what's up? And if you didn't receive an email, we have lots of help and guidance and suggestions for you here too. Okay, so don't forget to jump back to the top of these troubleshooting steps. In our case, we know SNS is correctly sending emails to our inbox. So we've got everything covered. Troubleshooting is done. Congratulations. We're now at the final stretch. When troubleshooting the notification issues, we investigated every single part of our monitoring system. We investigated the connection between CloudTrail and we investigated whether CloudTrail is picking up on events that are happening when we access our secret. What else are we tracking? What else did we double check? Whether CloudTrail is actually sending logs to CloudWatch. What else did we check? I'm not gonna look at the notes, but what else did we do? Do you remember? We did troubleshooting in like 5 different ways. Do you remember the other 2? Oh my gosh, I look so, my eyes are like just now. Well, what are the other 3 ways that we did troubleshooting just now? Do you remember? If it helps, you can try to picture the diagram in your head. Try to picture the architecture diagram. Try to picture what were the little parts in between. Those are the connections we were all verifying. We also verified whether the filter is accidentally rejecting the correct events, whether the alarm gets triggered, whether the triggering of the alarm sends an email. All of that was tested. Crazy stuff. So we initially didn't receive an email because CloudWatch was configured to use the wrong threshold. Instead of calculating the average number of times a secret was accessed in a time period, it should have been the sum. Okay? So, investigation over. Let's go ahead and access our secret one more time. Let's go ahead. Our secret's probably so done with us. It's probably thinking, my goodness, you literally created me like 2 hours ago, and now you've been, trying to read me like 7, 8 times. What's going on? Okay, well, we're gonna say too late. I've read the secret value one more time. I can see that I need 3 coffees a day to function. For me, it's actually 3 matchas. What about everyone else? And now we sit and wait. Are we gonna get an email now? Are we gonna get alerted now? Oh my gosh, let's see. So we're just gonna chill for a little bit, just wait for that event to come through, and maybe for an email to come through. And in the meantime, while you wait for the email, we can also go back and check our CloudWatch alarm. Is our alarm going off? It is. Do you see that? It's an alarm. It's an alarm state. And there's even a new little event here that says, oh, something's happened. The secret was accessed. I'm in alarm state. All right. And look at that. Oh my gosh. Ta-da, everyone. Do you see this? Do you see this? I got another email 0 minutes ago. This is verified facts. I just got another email. A threshold was caught. 1 out of the 1 data points was greater than or equal to the threshold. And that's why we got an email. We were in alarm. I've never been more happy to see an alarm go off. Because our monitoring system is definitely working. Okay, so let's take a screenshot of the alarm in alarm state. Like this. And honestly, hot little tip, if you'd like, you can change that 3-hour thing to like the last 45 minutes if you want. And that changes like the spread of your graph. Might make it look a bit cuter if that's your cup of tea. So if I make it 30, I don't think that looks good. I might actually just want to do 45 minutes. So that's your hot tip and your reward for tuning into the live today. We can set up a cute little image here for the cover page of our documentation. All done. So congratulations. Let's also take a screenshot of the email that we got. Oh, so good. So good. Let's take that screenshot. Okay, and let's mention to validate that our monitoring system can successfully detect and alert when my secret is accessed. I checked my secret's value one more time. We received an email within 1 to 2 minutes of the event. Our alarm in CloudWatch is also in alarm state. Cool. Congratulations. Hey, we did it. We did it. I'm so excited. This is so cool. You know, we successfully set up and tested our secret access monitoring and notification system. You should now receive email alerts whenever your secret is accessed. So if you use Secrets Manager, this could be a great thing to keep on. And in the meantime, though, to just make sure we cover our bases and make sure we don't get charged for anything that we created today, let's go ahead and delete your resources. It is really important to clean up your resources to save yourself from getting charged. It happens. And actually, we have a bunch of resources that I'm going to add to the description box about what to do if you do get charged, because there's actually a process you can go through with AWS support, and it's returned some great results for our students in terms of getting their bill waived, or just making sure that they're getting credits in their account, so that if they get charged for learning, you know, doing a project to build their skills, AWS is very, very kind about it. Okay, so I'm gonna add that to the description box as well. Nice work. Let's delete all of our resources and start with S3. Let's head on over to our S3 console. And we're gonna delete everything that's inside the bucket, which is gonna be a bunch of logs. We're gonna delete that first, and then we're gonna delete the bucket itself. So let's head on over to my bucket. Okay, and you can select the folder like this if you'd like, and then just select delete like this. Or if you want to do it from that buckets page that we saw, you can always click on the bucket. You can always click on the bucket and select empty like this. And then you can permanently delete it. Now, there's a reason why we select the bucket first. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for it to empty. So while you're waiting, oh, never mind. That didn't take too much time to empty at all. I take that back. But if it takes time for you, for the bucket to empty, then while you wait, you can go ahead and delete the other things too. But S3 got angry at me. I think S3 was like, "Are you calling me slow?" And it just deleted everything so quickly. So we've deleted everything inside the bucket. Now let's delete the entire bucket itself. It says it's not empty, so you might just need to empty the bucket once more. This happens a lot, like if it just so happens that CloudTrail, if CloudTrail decides to just add a new log to your bucket, it's like, oh, sorry, you know, you've got a new log, you can't actually delete the bucket itself yet. Oh my gosh, am I in war with CloudTrail? Is it just stopping me every time I try to delete my bucket? Sorry, I'm gonna do this one more time. Just for fun. This is my first time out of the 5 times I've practiced this that I'm getting blocked. Oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna get blocked again, guys, because CloudTrail is too fast. It keeps adding new logs to my bucket. Okay, so if CloudTrail is doing this to you too, that's totally okay. Let's go ahead and delete CloudTrail first. That's so funny. Let's go ahead and delete CloudTrail first, so that CloudTrail stops spamming you with new logs and stopping you from deleting your bucket. So once you reach your CloudTrail trail, go ahead and select delete it. I love how there's like a secret warning in that panel just now that says, hey, by the way, logs that are already delivered to your bucket, they're gonna stay there. So you really need to remember to delete any resources that gets created along the way. You know, I feel like that's a big skill, to be able to track like what other resources are getting created right now. What else do I need to delete? All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's delete the bucket itself. Very nice. So S3 done. CloudTrail done. And let's go ahead and delete CloudWatch, Secrets Manager, SNS. Shall I do it one by one? Let's do CloudWatch first. So we've got our alarm. We don't need it anymore. We can say bye to the alarm. It's been very, very helpful. So thank you, alarm. But we're gonna move on. So we're gonna delete you. Okay, so the alarm was deleted. What's next is for us to delete the log group. So the log group, again, is that folder of logs that CloudWatch received from CloudTrail. And now that CloudTrail is deleted, the log group also can get deleted. You know, it's no longer going to be receiving any new logs. We don't need to keep that. So we can delete that too. Now we've got our secret and secrets manager. That's a great one to delete. I feel like secrets is always just good to just make sure they're out of your account whenever you no longer need it. So when you're at your secrets page, go ahead and select actions and delete the secret. You can't delete a secret straight away. It's actually a very good security and just continuity measure for AWS to say, hey, we're gonna wait 7 days. We're gonna practice, we're gonna demo the next 7 days of what life is like once that secret is gone. And you're gonna experience some pain if it turns out that you actually needed that secret. Because imagine if your secret was storing some API keys and then suddenly in your app, it's like, oh, can't run app because it's waiting for API key. Okay, because Secrets Manager is like demoing like what life is like, you know, once that secret is gone. And then you're gonna say, oh, yeah, I did actually need that secret. And then you can go and retrieve it. And you know, for us, we really know that we don't need the secret anymore, so we can put 7 days. But 30 days is a pretty good standard. So I thought that's pretty cool. You can cancel the deletion on the day you change your mind. Okay, last thing is SNS. So let's go over to our SNS. Let's head on over to SNS. Let's select topics from the left-hand navigation panel. Select that topic and select delete. Delete me, we say. And we shall delete the topic. And then let's delete the subscription. Make sure your email also gets cleared from SNS. And your subscription is gone. Very nice, everyone. So I think that's everything deleted for now. And we can do our final reflection and check out our documentation for the day. Services we used today were CloudTrail, CloudWatch, and SNS. We also used IAM roles and S3 buckets. Key concepts we learned. We learned about, we also used Secrets Manager. Key concepts we learned include secret storing. What else did we learn? We learned about CloudWatch versus CloudTrail. We learned what are notifications and different kinds of endpoints. Because it doesn't have to be emails. It can be like text notifications. It could be an app update. We also learned about how to create a CloudWatch filter and alarm. which turns out to be a fiddly thing. Took us on a ride with all that troubleshooting we did. Okay, this project took us approximately, I would say just under 3 hours, but including demo and yarn time. I love these lives. Thanks everyone for doing this project together. And the most challenging part was, what was the most challenging part? I would say the most challenging part could be troubleshooting why the email wasn't delivering in our first test. It would be frustrating when an error is happening, but there are no error logs or error messages, because technically our system was working. It's more that the error was that the filter or the threshold wasn't set up correctly, and that's very, very hard to detect without you really investigating. So I'm glad we did that together. It was most rewarding to, I would say, I really like the secret mission to compare CloudTrail SNS notifications. It really opens up your mind around why we had to use CloudWatch and alarms too. Okay? So thank you so much for doing this project. What will make your learning experience even better? We'd love to know. And did this project meet your goals? We did this project today to build hands-on experience in cloud security and monitoring. This was hands-on. And truly, please add any kinds of suggestions you might have to make learning an even better experience for you. To kick us off and to, spark some ideas, I thought I could share with you like a recent kind of idea that was passed from a community member. So shout out, and I think shout out to Pratik for inspiring this, and let's mention it here. Something that could make the learning experience even better with next work. Even better is if I could retake a project, i.e. restart it, but this time with a different use case, or as a company, I would say, what was it that Oliver mentioned today? Really wanting to demo like what a role would do, or as a demo of a day in the life of a cloud engineer. Okay, so that's totally cool. Sounds great. We'd love to know. All right, everyone, we've got a security monitoring quiz to help wrap us up before we go on with our documentation and checking out what we created today. So I would love to see everyone take part in this quiz. Let's huddle together, put our brains together, and chuck your answers in the chat. Hello to Tim Timmel AI Studio. You came at the right time. We're just about to do a quiz. Do you think you can challenge yourself to your quiz, to your security monitoring knowledge? Let's try it together. Okay, first question. Why does AWS require email confirmation for SNS subscriptions? Ooh. What do you think, team? Is it A, B, C, or D? Interesting. How are we feeling? Are we stumped? Do we think it's A, B, C, or D? All right, team. We're going to jump into B today. Let's see. What do we think? A, to encrypt email content. B, to prevent unauthorized subscriptions and ensure consent. C, to verify the sender's identity. To test email deliverability. Great point. Thank you so much for mentioning that to Osman. Let me open up the quiz from here so you can see it. Okay, I hope this is clearer now. Okay, so we've got, why does AWS require email confirmation for SNS subscriptions? A, to encrypt email content. B, to prevent unauthorized subscriptions and ensure consent. C is to verify the sender's identity. D is to test email deliverability. Okay, so we've got B, to prevent unauthorized subscriptions and ensure consent. We'll give that a try. It sounds good. And if we were to have a quick discussion, email confirmations are less about whether or not we're encrypting the email. That could be more about like key management service, KMS. Verifying the sender's identity. Well, we're trying to confirm who's receiving it. So the sender isn't really something that we're confirming when we try to just confirm what the subscriber wants to subscribe. To test email deliverability, did we use email confirmations to do that? Or did we use another feature in step 6 to test email deliverability? I'll leave you with that. What is the key difference between storing logs in CloudTrail versus in CloudWatch? You've got A, CloudTrail event history for quick investigations. You've got B, AWS S3 for storing log files. We've got C, AWS config for configuration management, or D, CloudWatch logs for setting up alerts and long-term storage. This is tricky. What's the key difference? I'll let the chat a little bit about this. I don't want to butt in with my thoughts straight away. Okie dokes. Well, I think this one is going to be a tough one because we've got event history for quick investigations. Sounds about right. We got CloudWatch logs for setting up alerts and long-term storage. Sounds about right too. I think it's a bit of a juggle. I can't decide. Do we think we should go for A or do you think we should go for D? I don't think S3 or config is like a difference between the two services. Well, maybe I'll just pick D for now and we'll see. So CloudWatch logs, that's correct. CloudWatch logs is where you can set up alerts and automated responses when specific events happen. And you can store logs for as long as you like, which is a great thing about CloudWatch logs. Now, I would like to call out that this does not mean that A is technically, like this statement is wrong. It is totally true that event history is used for quick investigations. Now, it's simply that here the answer, the response says it only keeps events for 90 days and is not suitable for setting up alerts. So maybe there was something here that's about what is the key difference between CloudTrail and CloudWatch when it comes to setting up alerts. And definitely CloudWatch is the correct option there. Awesome. What is a metric namespace in CloudWatch? Ooh, this was a small detail. Do you remember what is a metric namespace? Is it A, a collection of log streams for specific apps? Is it B, a virtual firewall for controlling network traffic? Is it C, a container for CloudWatch metrics to organize and prevent naming conflicts? Or is it D, a set of permissions for AWS resources? What is the metric namespace in CloudWatch? Is it A, B, C, or D? Is it a collection of log streams? Is it a virtual firewall? Is it a container for CloudWatch metrics? Or is it a set of permissions? All right. So a metric namespace, as we talked about in the project when we set up our CloudWatch metric, we had a metric namespace for security metrics. So all security metrics can be under this little folder. So with that in mind, it's like a container for CloudWatch metrics, and let's check our answer. Okay, awesome. Now we got 2 more questions left. When setting up a CloudWatch metric filter, what does the metric value field represent? Is the metric value A, the time interval for data aggregation? So how much time in between CloudWatch is going to check in and calculate a value for the metric? Is the metric value B, the AWS region where logs are stored? Or does metric value represent C, the threshold for triggering CloudWatch alarms? Or does metric value represent D, the value recorded when a log matches the filter pattern? What do you think? Is it A, B, C, or D? Awesome, everyone. So I'm gonna have a check. Maybe, metric value is that counter that continue to go up by 1. Every single time your secret gets accessed. So at like a counter, it is the value that gets recorded whenever a log, an event, matches the filter pattern, which means at the time it matches the words get secret value. Awesome. All right, last one. Oh, question 5. So we've got two more now. What is the primary purpose of AWS Secrets Manager? Does it help you manage access? Does it help you create encryption keys? Does it help you protect secrets like passwords and API keys? Or does it help you audit and evaluate the settings, the configurations of your AWS resources? What is the purpose of Secrets Manager? And honestly, bonus for anyone that thinks this question was very straightforward. Can you tell what is the correct service for the options that are incorrect? What is the correct service that matches these descriptions if the others are incorrect? We got an idea in the chat. Osman says, is it C? Shall we have a go? Let's click C. Well done. Yes, a Secrets Manager helps you protect secrets, passwords, API keys, other sensitive information. Managing access to AWS services and resources, that's AWS IAM. Creates and manages encryption keys, AWS KMS. Audits and evaluates configurations. It's config, AWS config. Okay, last question for reals, everyone. What type of CloudTrail event records access to secrets in AWS Secrets Manager? Oh, I love this. Is it inside events, data events, management events, network activity events? Okay, so A is inside events. Is that what we use to record access to secrets? B is data events. Is that what we use to record access to the secret? Is that a, when we access our secrets, is that a data event that happens? We are just opening a resource. We got management events as well, that's option C. And the last option is D, network activity events. So again, bonus challenge for anyone that finds this answer straightforward. Can you define the other options that are incorrect? As a hint, management events we also looked at when we looked at the CloudTrail event history. In CloudTrail event history stores for 90 days all kinds of events. Okay, so the correct answer for this one is management events. Nice. So management events show admin actions like configuring your AWS resources, but because accessing secrets is just so important, AWS decided to make accessing secret a management event instead of a data event, because data events cost money to track. Inside events cost money to track. Network activity events cost money to track. Management events are free to track for your first trail. So you can only have one trail at any time that's tracking management events, but that one that's running, that one's going to be free for you. So AWS decided, you know what? We'll make these security events management events as well, so they're free to track. Awesome. Let's complete our quiz today, team. And we've mastered it, perfect score. And what that means is we can always click generate quiz and see a new set of questions as well. So good. Oh my gosh, we can be here all day. But have fun with this quiz. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it helps you test your knowledge. And yeah, let us know how you find it. Is 6 questions the perfect number? Time to get your documentation now. Nice work. You've successfully set up an AWS security monitoring system to track and alert on secrets access. So let's go on ahead to create our documentation. You've learned so many new skills using Secrets Manager, CloudTrail for logging, event history for investigating things quickly, CloudWatch metric filters to actually filter down all these logs to the ones you want to see, and then alarms and SNS notifications for real-time alerts. Madness, absolute madness. You're amazing. I hope you're proud of yourself for getting to the end. That's crazy. That's so cool. And let's set up our documentation. Now I'm going to show you how you can add your documentation to your portfolio today, and also how you can make a LinkedIn post with your documentation. So let's do the first thing I'm going to do is add it to my portfolio. And then the next thing I'm going to do is add it to a LinkedIn post. Okay, I love saving it in dark mode for my portfolio. So it's already selected here, save to portfolio. Let me just save that over there. Hey. Our portfolio is gonna look so good. Oh my gosh, I get so hyped. Have you seen my portfolio? I brag about it, guys. I'm like, guys, look at all these cool projects. Okay. So we've got our documentation inside this now. This looks awesome. Creating a secret, setting up CloudTrail, verifying CloudTrail, our CloudWatch metrics looking cool. Very nice. CloudWatch alarms looking cool. Oh, we are subscribed. That is a nice photo. Troubleshooting notification errors, and finally our success. We also compared CloudWatch with CloudTrail notifications. All this in 3 hours? All this? And all the learnings along the way? You're amazing. I'm a fan of you. and I hope you enjoy. This contains heaps of other next projects, so if you'd like to check out the rest of my portfolio, here it is in the chat. I hope you enjoy, and let's create a social post and share about our amazing work on LinkedIn at the same time. So I'm going to save my project documentation as a PDF too, this time in light mode. Oh, actually, let's go for the fun mode today. So this time in fun mode, I'm going to save my documentation as PDF. And let's create a new post. Let's get on to it. Okay, so we've got a message LinkedIn post template for you today that you can use that summarizes your learnings and what you've done. To add your PDF and really showcase your documentation, I'd recommend clicking that More button and clicking Add a Document. And this is where you can choose the file you just downloaded, that PDF. And for the title, we can just say Build a Security Monitoring System with AWS, like this. Hit done. It's gonna look awesome. Look at that. Oh, look at this cool post. And it also comes with the documentation like this. Okay, and heads up, that LinkedIn preview usually comes up a little blurry, but the moment you post it, it's ultra clear. It's I think something that LinkedIn does is just compress the preview and make it look a little blurry, but it's actually all clear by the time you post it. All right, everyone, that's a wrap for today. I'm so happy. We did so much together today. You've created a whole monitoring system. What the heck? I hope you enjoy sharing about the project. I hope you enjoy taking away some of the learnings and applying it to another project you might be working on. Always know that the Nexo community is here if you ever get stuck and have any questions. So we've got the Nexo community that's always here with any questions that you might have. And I'm going to add that to the chat as well. You can ask questions here. You can post about your wins here. Ooh, I love this. Awesome. I'll see you all there in the community, or I'll see you in the next project. Thank you so much for spending the time, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks, everyone, and a big shout out to everyone that's in the chat. Bye.